Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the RGM podcast. It's a new week of music, and I'm really thrilled to have an amazing guest for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Harriet Rose. Hi, mate.
Hiya, you all right?
Yeah, sound, thanks, mate. I'm really pleased to have you on the show because, you know, full disclosure and all that kind of stuff. I've known you since you were little, haven't I? You know,
Yeah,
I've known
not
you.
much smaller, but little.
Not much little, but I've known about Harriet Rose for a long time, and it's an absolute pleasure just to watch you develop as an artist and the journey that you've been on into music. Because it's not all plain sailing the music industry, is it, mate?
No, not at all. It's a long journey.
It is a long journey. It is a long journey. So, I want to introduce you to the RGM family and to share the love. And, you've got this tour coming up and all exciting things and loads of tour supports. And you've got a lot going on, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a bit manic, especially the last 3 weeks. It's been amazing, but just a bit non-stop.
Yeah. Getting a bit too much sometimes?
No, not at all.
No.
I mean, I'm trying to balance it with work still, which is always a challenge, but it's been enjoyable. I wish every week had been how it's been for the past 3.
Nice one. Well, we'll get to that in a bit. I want to rewind a little bit. So I first came across Harriet Rose at one of those Carl Maloney Presents gigs at the Frog and Parrot many, many years ago. I can't remember how many years ago. And I think I was the first person to interview little Harriet at the time. Is that, am I right?
Yeah.
It's just, I put it on your fans group, that little video, and people were just like...
I know, thanks for that, yeah. So cringe. Even now, I just think when you say my name and I say it as if I don't know what my name is, it's just, I don't know what I would do it.
How old were you then? How old was that? Can you remember?
I don't know. I feel like 16, 15, maybe.
Yeah, definitely not old enough to be in the pub, were you?
No, definitely not. No.
Well, it's all good. But yeah, we'll come to all the stories in a bit. I just want to, go back through the backstory of Harriet Rose and get to know you a bit. So just rewinding completely before that first gig that you did at the Frog and Parrot for me years ago. What was little Harriet like as a kid growing up? What was the landscape like around you as a little one?
What was I like? Do you know, I was confident. I was a confident little thing. I said, I want to be a drama queen. I was into my acting, everything like that. And that was it. I was set on it.
Yeah.
I don't think I was annoying. Maybe I was, I don't know. But I was just this confident little thing that just sang all the time and just chatted nonsense.
So did that set you apart from other people in school and that kind of stuff? Because it's not the
norm. I got bullied at school. Yeah, I think I was a bit of a weirdo, but looking back now, for the right reasons, I loved school, I loved learning. I wanted to know as much as I could all the time, and I believed in myself, but you get bullied for that, unfortunately, and it knocked me a bit as I've got older. I hold on to that more than the confidence that 10-year-old me had, which is a shame.
Well, I wonder what those bullies are doing now, mate. They'll just be sat on Facebook slagging people off, aren't they? And you're out there living
Probably. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So it can set you apart from being a bit different. I've always felt a little bit different, and it's felt like I'm a bit annoying, and these things happen, don't they? There's something to be said for us outsiders, isn't there? There's a certain drive that ends up in some people. It can be a force for good in a way, I suppose.
I agree. It fuels you. Even not to make it about other people, but you want to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
And make something of yourself. So I agree with that.
I can tell how you said that.
I don't mean it. Yeah.
No, I could tell, mate. So, what was where did you grow up? What part of the country? And, what was the...
Right. Yeah.
Go on. Everybody wants to know.
I grew up in Barnsley. And it was an experience.
Yeah.
I'm not going to slag it off, but I didn't feel like I fitted in there very well. And it's a small town with a small music scene. And then when I was finally old enough and I ventured into Sheffield,
Right.
And into that music scene, I felt more at home. I mean, half my family's from Sheffield, so it's not like I was unfamiliar with it, but to be able to open that door and like meet people like you and others that were on that same kind of path, that was much better. But yeah, growing up in Barnsley was, yeah.
Well, I know from putting gigs on and working with a lot of like artists in Sheffield that, you know, the satellite towns around Sheffield, a lot of artists say they're from Sheffield, but they're from like Barnsley or they're from Doncaster, and they say
the little areas around it, yeah.
Because they find it like really difficult to get anywhere in the smaller towns, which they all have their own like little scenes and things. But once you've played 2 or 3 bars in those places, you've kind of like done it, haven't you? You do need to branch out, and when you do branch out, it's really difficult for you to bring people to gigs and stuff because, you know, who can be asked to go over to Sheffield and like get trains and mess about like that to come and support you where they will in your hometowns, and then you're kind of in a new place which is only like 3 or 4 miles away or whatever it is, all on your own, building, you know, just trying to build something in a you know, I don't want to say better place, but a different place. I'll get all the Barnes fans on it now. But how was it like, you know, branching out into Sheffield on your own?
It was tricky. I mean, you knew me in those days, and I was young. I wasn't like super young, but I felt really young, and I think I came across young too. And I had my dad on my side, fighting everything for me. You know, he was like a dad manager, and it was just an experience. I didn't know anything. It was all really new. I didn't know. I said yes to everything. I didn't know what to expect. It was like, look, just take what you can get and run with it. And it was great. But now, obviously, as you get older, and it's like Rev's new song, "Don't Say Yes to Everything," like the things you wish you'd have known, things like that. But I enjoyed it. I loved it. Well, and it was a different scene back then as well, I think.
A different what, sorry?
Different scene.
Yeah. In what way?
I just think the people involved in it and stuff. I mean, there's some similar people, but life goes on, doesn't it? Things change, people leave, people come back.
What do you mean? Just like people, like promoters, just people?
Yeah, yeah. Venues coming and going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I can remember, there was always talent there, weren't there? You know, you were only young and you were in an adult world, and you know that can be intimidating to anybody. But there was always talent there, weren't there, mate? So when did you first realise that you had?
Are you talking about me? I thought you meant in Sheffield. I sound really arrogant, and I was just like,
no, I'm on about you now. I'm on about. So when did you first like realise that you had this little voice inside you?
I've always sang. I've always been a singer, even like on theatre. And I think that's a horrible question. I don't think I've ever kind of sat and gone, oh, I've got something here. Really. But I just knew I enjoyed it. And when people it's more like that enforcement afterwards, the reinforcement afterwards, when you do something and somebody's like, oh, that was actually really good. Do you know that was really good? Like, my dad would kill me. Like, sometimes today I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I'll turn up to kids and I don't want to do this. I'm not good enough to do this. I'm not here for this anymore. Like, they're really good. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be like, I knew. I don't think I've ever really just like gone with it.
Yeah, you've just found something you enjoy doing it, and it's music is weird and it proper sticks with you, and it's hard to let that kind of thing go. So when you find something that you're passionate about, like me, I'm a failed musician in a band and I've ended up doing this RGM thing. I can't let it go. So you always find a way when you're a certain kind of person to stay in and around this fucking nightmare industry that we're all having a go at.
Yeah, for some reason. Yeah.
Well, one thing I always noticed about you, H, was even in those really early gigs, you like to tell the story of your songs. Yeah. And I know at a really early stage, you did lose your mum, and you did. You know, the reason why you know, I feel like I can ask you this question is that you are open about it on stage when you talk about on your songs and stuff and that kind of stuff. So, you know, how did that shape you as a person? That experience?
Do you know, it's one of those, I mean, I lost when I was 10, and I think the harder days have been growing up since. Like, I can't say that was the hardest day of my life, because it wasn't. And being a young woman and navigating life is 10 times harder. It's inspired a lot of my music, obviously. Like, the sad songs I write far too many sad songs. It's just natural. But I do talk openly about it on stage, and I hope people can relate to it, because grief's like this horrible thing, and I wish more people talked about it. It shaped me in bad ways and good ways. Like, there's a lot of strength I take out of it, and just wanting to do well, and hope she's watching and stuff like that. But then, like, my anxiety, I have horrible anxiety, and that came from losing my mum. So there's some shit bits too.
I can imagine. And you mentioned anxiety there. I've seen that in you. We've talked about it before, because I've known you for a bit, and there's been times when it's got too much for you. How do you manage that these days when you've got a tour coming up, you've got responsibilities now, you're making waves in the industry, and you're supporting all these big artists, lottery winners, Sherlock's, all these people that I'm going to come to in a bit.
Yeah.
How do you manage this? I can't say anxiety. How do you manage it?
Do you know, I don't. Sometimes I don't. Okay. Sometimes, like, as you know, like that one gig, and I was like, I can't make this journey. I can't do it. I'm gonna die if I go over the Woodhead Pass. And before Christmas, I had exactly the same thing happen, and it was really, really hard to just. I had long journeys to Bristol and stuff like that on my own, and I think, I can't do this. I can't do this. And in my head, I'm trying to rationalize it like, this is everything you've ever wanted. Like, do it now and cry about it later. And that recently I've been saying, just say yes now, cry about it afterwards. And that's like my mantra at the minute.
Yeah, well,
yeah, and then cry.
I think, because if people don't know, we had you booked for a gig, didn't we? And anxiety got a bit too much for you. And I straight away texted you and said, look, H, it's fine. Because I know it's really difficult for people, mental health and anxiety and all that kind of stuff. It's a real thing for people, and I didn't want you to feel bad for that, because life will go on. With I've stayed in touch with you, and I'll even when you're massive on arenas and stuff, I'll still be texting you for a little interview for RGM. When these things happen, how does it manifest inside yourself? How do you how does it manifest in you, and how do you work through it? Just for, in case anybody else is watching this, it might help.
Sometimes, well, it's just kind of grounding. When I manage, I mean, I'm not bad all this. I mean, now this time of year, it's like a seasonal thing. I'm much better. Like, I can deal with it. But when it starts to raise its ugly head, I kind of just have to ground myself a little bit. And like, recently I had this thing of like thinking singing was causing me an issue. But then it's like the good times when it's not, you just focus on that. So like the amount of times I've made the journey to Manchester and it's been okay. Like, you've got through it, it's fine. This is just another one of them journeys. Like, where's a safe place that you're fine with? So once you're at Langsett, stuff like that, like, just the things you've got comfort in and you're familiar with, just focus on that. Like, all the times the gig's gone really well, it's gonna be fine. Like, the amount of times it's actually gone wrong or something's happened, more often than not it hasn't, and it's the fear of it. And I just have to kind of talk to myself and talk myself down from that point.
I wouldn't say I personally have anxiety, but when I'm doing like interviews before, quite a lot of times I'm like, I just wish they'd text me now and just say they can't do it, because I'm just like, you know what I mean? You're just thinking all these things that are like going on. It's fight or flight, innit? You just like panic a little bit, and you think, the way I kind of channel it is, I always think this anxiety, this pressure inside you that you just want to run away from, that's a sign that something good's going to happen. That's how I kind of channel it in my mind.
Yeah, I get that. It's going to be a good thing. That's why you're nervous.
Yeah, it's why you're nervous, because it's going to be good. It's going to be different, and you're going to grow from it. It's all going to be good.
Yeah. I'll try that.
Nice. So some faux medical advice for people with anxiety then. So we're not professionals. Everybody be yourself and all that kind of
stuff. Yeah, don't say words. Yeah.
So as an artist, you progressed. And I've seen you all over. I've seen you. That's last time I saw you in real life was we saw you in Tramlines, and we had you in Manchester. Then I've never seen you again since then. I can't really remember everything. I forget stuff. But the development of you you know, getting accomplished as a solo artist in Sheffield, getting a band behind you, going down the country route, that kind of stuff, which I know is a different direction. So it feels like you're in a different direction now from the countryside of things.
Yes.
Just building up that confidence of being a solo artist and then deciding you want a band behind you, that's no mean feat either. That's a pain in the arse to manage, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Go on.
I didn't realise. I just thought it's just nice group of people, like a nice group of people. Here we go. This is fantastic. You can get better support slots. It's not. It's not that easy at all. You're dealing with 4 different individuals, trying to get people together who live in different parts of the UK, and it's suddenly that like pressure you've got on yourself. Like I'm really hard on myself. It's like if this goes wrong, it's on me. And then all of a sudden, there's more people on stage to be listening to. Like.
Yeah.
To have pressure on, it's a different thing altogether.
There's more people to have problems. There's more people that can break down in the cars. There's more people that have got their own life going on as well, isn't there?
Yeah. It is tricky. I didn't realize. I think it's one of them things you just think, oh, you just chuck a lot of people together and it's fine and it works. But it's tricky.
It is tricky.
It's still good though. Like I sound negative there. It is amazing when it comes together and it works and you're jamming. But there's a lot more management and understanding goes on behind it.
Because there was a stage when you went all out country, jean shorts and things and American flags and stuff. Where did that kind of like idea come from or influence?
Right. Well, I'd always kind of. I mean, you knew me from the early days. I would never have said I was country in the early days at all. I was just writing songs, being me, a little bit indie. And then just sad stuff on the side. But I think influence-wise, I'd gone to America. I'd had the best time of my life, a summer in America, and then I'd gone back the year after, and I found country music properly. I wasn't aware of I knew Taylor Swift and stuff like that, and I loved it. And then I feel like I can talk about it now, but it was a horrible time. Back just before COVID, for about a year, I'd been going back and forth with a label. A management in America, in Nashville, country management, massive. Like if somebody said, "What do you want as an artist?" Well, here you go. This is for you. It was everything, and I think I kind of played into that a little bit as well over that period. So I was like, oh, I can be as country as you want. Yeah, here we go. And then it never transpired. Like COVID happened, and they were like, "Oh, we'll just wait. We'll wait till this brushes over," and then that was it. And I feel like, I love country music, and I don't write for a style. I literally just pick up my guitar and I just write. So whatever comes out, comes out. But I feel like where I'm at now is where I was before and where I was trying to get into and knocking on the door of. And country was there. The flag thing, don't know. I just wanted to pose with a flag, really. I think.
Well, kind of the first time I'd seen you have like professional photos, and I thought, oh, here we go. Harriet's doing something different here.
Yeah, it was different. Yeah.
do you look back on because everybody goes through stages in life. You've got to find your way. You've got to find your path. This opportunity came up. You lent on it. Things, it's the music industry. Shit happens, doesn't it? You move on. Did you feel like you weren't really yourself though, doing that kind of stuff, or be leaning into it as hard?
I didn't feel like I weren't myself because I still love all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm fully into the American stuff, like the American sports. I embrace it and I love its pieces. But I struggled trying to fit in with that scene, if I'm honest, because I knew I didn't stand on stage and put like an American accent on and do anything like that. Like I was still just being me. So I did lean into it hard. I didn't feel like I weren't being myself, but in a weird way now I feel like I'm just back to being just me. And I'm happy with that.
You do like American sports, don't you? You bang on about American football a lot, don't you, mate?
Yeah, I love it.
What's all that about?
What do you mean? Do you not like it?
I don't get it.
That's so typical. It's not hard. Like it's like once you've watched it with one person and they can say, right, this is what this means, it's actually really good. And It's quite quick. I mean, you'll have to do something for Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, okay. Let's go for a pint on Super Bowl, and you can tell me what all these things are going on.
Yeah,
these men in robot suits just running.
I think it's better than rugby.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that question came from. It's not written down. I just thought I'd ask it. American sports came up. It's funny. So moving on from the country thing, then, you know, what was going on in your mind there when you stopped doing the country thing and you started to do Harriet Rose and a band kind of thing? What kind of changed within you there then?
You know, it went a thing, and I said this is so because I was talking about it the day with my dad, like how weird, like one thing can change your life, and how like everything just kind of spiders, and like people know people, and that it's just one door opening. And I said, like, I'm not really doing anything different.
Yeah.
You know, like I've not made an active effort to go, I'm not doing that anymore, or I am doing that, or I'm going to change my appearance. Like I've not done that. Like I'm still just writing. The songs are there. Like the songs are still the same. I've written a lot of new songs recently, and I didn't think about them. I just did them, and I thought actually that's all right. I can play that live, or that one's not ever been played anywhere. And I think it's just I've been really fortunate at the back end of last year to play to the right audiences, and it's put me where I wanted to be. And it's just luck. I don't think I've generally done anything different, which is weird.
It's not just luck; it's graft as well. I was speaking to on a previous show Andrew Cushing that I'm going to bring up because we did talk about you, and we talked about this exact same subject where, you know, getting on support slots. It's not just luck, it's graft. You know, you can be cheeky, you can tweet somebody and ask for a slot, and sometimes things happen, and you know, and people will reply to you if they'll check your socials and check that you're a grafter and think, oh, I'll give her a chance, and you've got more of a chance if you're grafting. Yeah. And Andrew said you're a lovely lass, and he loves having you on his gigs and that kind of stuff. Just in case you were wondering what he said, it was all good, I promise you. But I know he's a bit of a rotter, that lad. So can you spill some dirt on Andrew Cushing for me, please?
Bit of a rotter, I can't.
Can't you?
No, he's one of the nicest people ever, and his team.
He is nice, isn't he?
What a bad word you can say about him. And he's the one last year that gave me the chance to support him, and just put me on a different path, really. So you'll never get anything bad out of me about Andrew Cushing.
Okay, then the Sherlocks then.
No, same.
Okay,
yeah, I'm not saying anything.
Okay, lottery winners then. Come on.
No, lovely bunch of people.
They are. No. Yeah, I know. I'm only teasing. But you know, all these support. Who else have you been supporting as well? Then, because I've just written a few down there just to talk about. But you've been supporting loads of interesting people as well, haven't you?
I mean,
Pete Doherty.
Yeah.
Have you done Pete Doherty?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. That was mental.
Go on. Yeah. Talk us
so I found out the day before. They're like, "Oh, do you want to come to Stockton and support him?" I was like, "Yeah." So I was sat in the studio with Ed Cousins and Dave and Adam and like just chilling, which that's like mind blowing for young H. Yeah. And then I got the email saying, "Oh, do you want to support him tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I got there and he was just chilling in the room with his dogs. And I feel like I'm all right at chatting these days. I'm not as shy. Like I can pull some out of somewhere if I need to, but I just don't know what to say. Like I found myself being like, "Yeah, I'm all right, thank you." Yeah. Like,
okay.
Yeah. And then like he introduced me on stage as well. And then afterwards, he like the way he does it, like there's no gaps in between sets. So he came on, introduced me, which was just like amazing. Like he was there. He didn't disappear and sit somewhere. He was at the side of the stage the whole time through the evening, and he didn't have to do that. And a lot of people don't. They don't even stick around the venue when the supports are on. So that was just lovely. And yeah, he was just there.
Well, it's like we had a similar chat with Andrew. You know, he you know had a similar experience with Pete Doherty. You know, a lot of winners. The Sherlocks, they're all doing it as well. Reverend and the Makers. You know, you mentioned Ed Cousins there. That are you working with in the studio? Is that who you're working with, Ed?
Yeah.
A lovely man. You know, Ed Cousins from Reverend and the Makers too. And I know you did an amazing cover of Heavyweight Champion of the World, which I've seen you do before. And I know John liked that when you played in his shop the other day as well, didn't you?
Yes, that's another thing. Like you've seen me, I've done that for years.
Yeah.
And then I did a house gig with Rev, Mark and Nima's house. Shout them out. And that was an experience. And I did it in his shop in a video. It went like mental on Twitter. Yeah. It's like, what? This is crazy.
What are them house shows like? As like they look like they're quite intense environments, because you're in somebody's house, which is a bit weird anyway, isn't it? You know.
I thought it would be, but it wasn't. I've done a couple when I was younger, and they were more like I didn't know the people, so that was a bit weird. But no, it was lovely. Like it was like playing in front of a room of your best mates.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't know him, but it's like there's no bad vibes. Like they're just there for a good time, all supportive, and like they were singing along to one of my songs that no one had heard, which was just a bit weird. But yeah, when Rev was on that was mental.
I can imagine, because you're on the path now where you're getting really strong support slots, which is a major milestone as an artist to grow into, because you're playing to big crowds often, where before there were a lot of pressure on yourself to bring the people in, where you don't have that pressure as much. You know, you want people to come and see you, obviously, but you kind of know they're there for a headline, and you're there to. It must be like a bit of an audition every time you go out to those type of gigs to win people over. It must have a different type of pressure, I suppose.
No, yeah, I mean, there's pressure from both sides, I think. So the first when I got asked, well, Tom offered the lottery winner supports, and I was like screaming, panicking. But that was like 3 PM. Oh, do you want to do it tonight? I said this wrong in the video. I said Bury. Is it Bury or Berry?
Bury. I think if you're from Yorkshire like us, it's Bury. Okay. I think over here it's Berry. Don't matter.
Okay, I'll go with Bury. But I got there, and for me, like the pressure to impress them was massive, because it took a bit of a chance on me. No idea like what I was going to be, and it's like I really want to show you that I'm grateful for this, but I need to impress you as well. And then like it was already a full audience, and it's like I need to win your crowd over, because if I don't, that's an impression as well. If they're just going to like talk all the way through it, or if they're not bothered, if they don't applaud, like there's pressure from both sides with stuff like that.
Nice pressure. It's a nicer pressure than having it all on yourself, though, isn't it? I think. No? Okay.
No, yeah. I think, I know what you mean.
I saw all the social pictures. It had your name right massive on a big screen behind you. I thought that must be quite exciting.
It was. That was mega. Like, I got there and they're like, have you got a logo? And then they stuck it on, and I was just like, oh my God, this is what it feels like.
What it's like to really do it. How did Tom get in touch with you? Just out of interest.
I just kind of pestered him on Instagram a little bit.
There you go. You go.
He's got some. I mean, their fans are absolutely lovely. They're so nice. And I'd met a couple doing different gigs, doing one with Andrew and James Walsh, and they said, "Oh, just message him. If I think you'd be a great spot. Just message him." I went, "Oh, should I?" And I did. And then he just offered. He came back and offered that, which is amazing, because he didn't need to.
It works, doesn't it? Because
oh Jesus! Yeah.
I'm not going to mention him again, but Andrew Cushing, he said the same kind of thing. He's been supporting like a really similar journey to you. He's supported lottery winners, Sherlock's, Pete Doherty. You mentioned James Walsh there. We've had James on the podcast. He is possibly the most laid back person I've ever met in my life. It's like how did you find James?
Oh, no, same. Yeah. Really just chill. I mean, to be fair, I didn't speak to him much. Yeah. But even just like meeting him, is like really chill and cool.
Yeah, that amazing voice from Star Sailor comes from somebody that's so like proper chilled. Like he was just like I don't know, just I've never spoke to anybody that chilled before. It's a nice place to be. That chill. I want to be like James Walsh.
I'll be very gig me.
I know. Yeah, tell me about it. I just want to be like James Walsh for like half of the time. So fucking chilled. Yeah. Anyway, we digress. But yeah, you're on a similar kind of path, really, where you're getting these support slots, and you can just see how much it's supported his growth as an artist. And it's lovely to see you on the same path, mate, because you really deserve this.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I hope I am. It's early days, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, Andrew's amazing, though.
Yeah.
But
Like, well, let's not say.
I'll take that. Thank you.
Let's not say any more about him now. I've tried to get some dirt on Andrew Cushion. It's not happening, but bless him. Fair enough. Oh, did something come to mind then? You look like you.
No, I was thinking if there's anything, but there isn't.
Does he smell or like that? What's he smell like?
Does he smell? Oh, I tell you what, he makes shocking drinks.
Here we go.
If he offers you a drink, say no.
What, like a cup of tea or something?
He has like a drink before he goes on a cup of tea.
Okay.
No, it's hot water, like turmeric, ginger,
okay.
all of that vocal goodness.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Rank.
It's like he gave me it, and I think he put like 4 tablespoons of turmeric in it. Like, do you like it? Like, yeah, thanks.
Possibly the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life.
Yeah.
Well, what I've seen lately is a more feisty side to you, Harriet. Recently, I've kind of noticed, and you put something on Twitter, and I just had a little play around with you the other day. Do you know about like reviewers and things like that commenting on your appearance and that kind of stuff? So just talk us through what happened there and tell the story.
It was actually Tom, Lottery Winners. He put it on. Did you see it on Instagram? And I mean, I've had it in the past too, but somebody had said it like he looked like a granddad, right. Like the most unlikely rock star or something like this in his outfit compared to like the blonde bombshell Kate next to him. Mm-hmm. And I just sent him a message like, what? Like, why? Like, if you're complimenting him because he's an incredible frontman, just leave it at that.
And that was a reviewer?
Yeah.
What magazine?
Pardon?
What magazine was it?
You don't know. I was like, oh, who's that? And he didn't say. And I mean, that's fair on him, because if it were me, I'd have been like dragging him. Like, there's just no need. But I've had it in the past, like somebody put something along the lines of like, oh, in a certain light on stage, she could be like way older. And I was just like, oh, thanks. Like, cheers. I don't know how to take that. Like, in what way is that a nice thing to include in a review? Like, oh, the stage lighting makes me look 40. Crack on. Like, I don't know that. I don't get it. I think if you're on stage and you're in like this big outfit and it's a part of that production and the kind of persona you're putting out, to comment on it that way, it's a little bit different because you want it to be acknowledged or it's there to be commented on. But if you're just in a casual outfit, doing what you do and you're smashing it, you don't need to comment on it.
No, I like how feisty you are with that kind of stuff. And I do want to say a thank you as well, because I come under a bit of stick a bit ago from a certain person from a magazine that started to call me a bully over me calling them out about lying about stuff. And they went on about me being a bully for, I don't know, for forever. I just lived in their head for a bit. And one of the, you really stuck up for me then. And I appreciate that. So I just wanted to say thank you for that too, because it was just total bullshit. And just to have that support from a friend, I just wanted to thank you for that personally.
No, don't be dashed. I get involved in stuff I really shouldn't get involved in sometimes, but when you can see that there's quite a clear right and wrong, or people are saying stuff that's wrong, I find it hard not to say something. Say
it. Just do it. If it feels right, do it. Stick up for these. No, I'm not saying me. I'm just being like, if you see an injustice in the world, you can't not say it, can you?
No. And I think there's a way of saying stuff sometimes, and I try and be pragmatic and do my research, and I don't just like come out all guns blazing. But I think sometimes if something needs to be said,
I maybe need to be a bit more like you at some point.
Just have a minute.
Because I've got one of those gobs, and if I see things are wrong, I'll probably not research it. I'll just say it, which is, it is what it is, isn't it?
I know, but I feel like these days you just need to be careful. Like, I will rein myself in now. Like, at some point every week on Twitter, I was just like, "What you want about?" But you need to be careful with what you're putting online these days. Well, even this is ridiculous. The other day I thought, Sheffield United fan.
Yep, me too.
Red and white. Wednesday, pitch invasion. Sad as. Never seen anything as sad in my life. I thought, I can't put this on Twitter now because I don't know who's going to be offended. Like, I don't want to upset John.
I'd have retweeted that. I love that.
Thank you. I'm glad I've got your support on it. But I was so afraid. I thought, football's an important thing for a lot of people. I can have a laugh about it. You know, I get called Piggy most of the time, but
yeah.
You don't know.
Well, you know, Barnsley are playing Wednesday soon, aren't they?
Yeah, Monday.
Down against Sheffield, but I'm just interested to see how that goes. That's going to be.
I hope Barnsley do them over. I really do. I'm rooting.
As a Blade, I support you, H. Blades together. So yeah, you mentioned it earlier as well. Songwriting. Let's go back to songwriting and stuff. You mentioned you write a lot of sad songs.
Yeah.
Does that just come out of you? Just that is it just that's just in you? That's just more ballady type things. Is that just where you are as an artist? Do you think? Yeah.
I think so. I'm more often than not like it's just an easier way for me to have an outlet.
Yeah.
So like it just pours out really. I'm a really sad person. No, I'm not. But like it's just in there. So I like day-to-day conversations, I can see what's going on in my life and write about it. But whenever I'm down, I just pick it up, which is why I probably end up with so many sad songs.
No, I like it, and it's. I don't know. Do you reckon it's easier to write about sad stuff? Because writing about happy stuff, I don't know. I'm a bit of an old cynic. I'm a little bit like you in a little bit where it's hard to think of the happy things in it. It just feels a bit cheap to talk about happy stuff and nice weather and everything's going my way. It's just a bit wanky, isn't it?
Yeah. Feeling happy, I don't know what you mean. I feel like you can't place it. And for me, like if you said to somebody like, what does this sad feeling feel like? You can place it so easy. Yeah. And you can pull on that and everybody can relate to it. But happy stuff, it's a bit harder to find the words sometimes to explain that feeling.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel? Where do you feel you are within the music industry now? Then, where do you feel you sit within it all?
What do you mean? As in, like,
just like you just the journey you're on, really. What stage do you feel like you're close to another level within your career, or do you feel like there might not be an answer to it? It's fine to say they're in.
I feel like somebody asked me this yesterday, like, do you feel like it's going to be a good year?
Okay.
And I kind of said, I feel like the next couple of years, I'm in a different place to where I was, and it looks good.
Yeah.
Like I can feel like the support starts. Like I had to sit back and just kind of say to myself, like, this is happening. Like, just embrace this because this is crazy. And things like that. It's like, okay, so things are happening, things are changing. I feel like I'm on the right track. Whatever's coming next, I don't know. You never know. I'm knocking on doors for people that can influence and change things, but whether it comes off, I don't know. But I'd like to think the next year or two, things could be changing, hopefully.
Do you think it was worth it, all those gigs down at Mulberry Tavern with nobody in with me? Do you think that were all worth it looking back?
I think you have to do it, yeah. It builds you, and like it doesn't annoy me, but like when these people are just picked from TikTok, or they're just kind of picked up as Disney stars and given like massive arena tours, and I think, but you don't know what it feels like to play to no one. Yeah. Like you have to do it. Yeah. I think it's part of the journey.
I'm still not great with TikTok. I still can't get my head around it. I'm not very good at it because I'm just putting like podcast stuff really on TikTok. But you've done really well on there, it looks like.
Oh no, I try. Have you seen them? I do them like, here's the day in the life of me. Hi guys.
Yeah, and then your cat's there. That's always nice to see.
Yeah.
Go get
He's bigger star than me on TikTok.
He's got his own TikTok.
No, not yet, but might be.
One day.
I'll cash in on it when he gets to like big following. Like, it's actually me. Hiya.
I just don't. The reason why I'm not like sold on TikTok yet is because you can't put links on it. You can't send people towards like RGM, like what I'd want to do. It's all video. So people, I don't know how all these people with millions of followers. I don't really understand what else they're going to bring to the table, like performance wise. You can't do a live TikTok, can you? Or can you?
Well, you can go live on TikTok.
I mean, go live on it, but I mean, like sell tickets to a gig, and then be on stage and like have a talent to show off. It's just you've got a personality. You're doing this funny thing on TikTok that people are scrolling past and enjoy. Whatever. I just can't see how it. I can't see yet.
It transfers.
How it transfers into money, ticket sales, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? There's some that have done it though. I mean, I use it because it obviously works as a platform.
Yeah.
Like which is interesting. I mean, it's how influential it is at the minute is just ridiculous. But like there are some. So Sam Ryder, he was big on TikTok, wasn't he? Then he got Eurovision. But I respect him, to be fair. He knows his stuff. They've not just picked somebody that don't have a clue. Like they've given somebody the right chance. But yeah, have you been following and getting people to buy tickets to your gigs locally?
Yeah. Tramline's our just in Sheffield Wednesday ground going up lift. I was just going to interview lottery winners actually, and Sam Ryder got in the lift. I'm like, oh, hey mate, and he was proper nice, you know, like you'd expect him to be, just proper like right hairy and nice.
I love to meet him. I saw him at Boardmasters and that. I just love the way he's like, yeah, peace and love.
I know, yeah. It's a
like 2 minutes, I was laughing at him, going, oh my god, I love him.
Oh, brilliant. So you've got this big tour coming up that I'm going to put a link within the description of this podcast on YouTube and, you know, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, wherever you're listening to this thing. So you've got all these gigs coming up as well. It's starting in Manchester, down at the Castle on June the 22nd. I'll see you there, mate. Then Sheffield Greystones. Oh, you like playing Greystones, don't you?
I love it. Yeah, I think the sound in there is always.
You got me in to come and see you when you spotted Miles Hunt, because Miles Hunt's a bit of a hero of mine, didn't you? Ages ago. That I've just had a little memory from Greystones.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah.
Miles and Erica, blooming heck.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember when that was.
Yeah, that was many years ago. I still lived in Sheffield then. That was over 4 or 5 years ago. Easy.
Did you come to that?
Yeah, you got me in because I wanted to. He'd sold it out, and I obliged you for a ticket to get into it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Nice one. And then you got Newcastle, the Clooney, Scunthorpe, Westview Live, a little tour going on there, mate. So tell us what we're going to expect from the tour.
Well, it's going to have a new tunes, a bit of a new sound, not too different, but a bit more where I wanted it to be. Not as country, much more indie, and it's just been a while without a full band. So for all these people that have seen me just on myself, it's a completely different kind of gig. Yeah. I let myself go a lot more. I just enjoy it. Different performance, way more confident, and yes, should be good.
Definitely. Well, I'm going to encourage anybody to click the link that you will see below, and go and check our Harriet out. Is there anything you want to say to, because I'm going to let you get on with your day now, because I know you're a busy lass and that. Have you got much on today? Just been nosy now. I run like a cricket training. Okay. With kids. So I'm doing that this evening, and then I'm heading to Newcastle, weekend in Newcastle. Ah, nice one. Well, I wish you all the best, Harriet. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
You want to leave a little message for the people that are watching this video and haven't pressed the button to buy your tickets yet? Leave them a quick message, and then I'll let you get off to do something wholesome.
I'll try and be nice about it. Hiya, everybody that hasn't already bought a ticket. I really think you should buy a ticket because you're missing out. And this sounds arrogant, but I could be big next year. So you can say that you saw me before I got big. How good's that? Please buy a ticket. Please. I really need you to buy a ticket. Thank you.
There we go. Hey. Nice one, mate. I adore you as a person, as an artist. I wish you all the best for the future, mate. Thanks for joining us today for another show. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
No, thanks for having me.